Facebook versus YouTube ads. Which ad platform should you be using in 2022? What's up, everyone? My name is Marcus, and welcome to my channel where we discuss all things Google and YouTube advertising and how you can utilize these great platforms into growing and scaling your business using proven, real, and up-to-date marketing strategies. Now, before we dive into which platform you should be using, make sure you smash that like and subscribe button. And if you have any questions regarding Google or YouTube advertising or even Facebook advertising, drop them in the comment section below. And we usually get to them as quick as possible and answer them as best as we can. All right, so you have Facebook ads and you have YouTube ads. Which ad platform should you be using? So let's start off with Facebook ads. When you go to advertise on any platform, you need to understand how the platform is being used. Why do people go to Facebook? People go to Facebook to socialize, to talk with friends and family and loved ones. People go there because they're bored and they just need to kill a few minutes, or maybe they're stuck at work on a lunch break or whatever. People don't really go to Facebook looking for answers to questions. So what you have to understand is that when you start advertising on Facebook, this type of advertising is called interruptive based advertising. All right. So you're trying to interrupt the zombie scroll. Okay. You're trying to grab someone's attention and put an idea in their head that, hey, you should buy this product or you should buy this service. When you advertise on Facebook, you need to understand the mentality, the mindset of people who are using that particular platform. Now, the next thing you need to know about Facebook advertising is how you get charged. Okay, this is really, really important. On Facebook, you get charged per impression, or what's called CPM. So they charge you per 1,000 impressions. Okay, now depending on what niche you're in, okay, this could be relatively low or it could be relatively high, but you still get charged even if no one clicks on your ads. Okay, if no one clicks on your ads, no one goes to your sales page or to your website or your sales funnel, whatever it may be, you still get charged per 1,000 impressions. So normally they'll have like a cap. So once your account reaches, $500 or $1,000 or whatever you set the cap to, that's when you get charged. But Facebook will base this charge off of how many impressions you have received. Now, there is a second option or a second way of how you get charged in Facebook. So if you're doing video view campaigns, okay, so you're showing like a video ad, for example, there are two options. The first one is you get charged when someone watches 3 seconds of your video. And that could be they just simply scroll past and they saw your ad for a couple seconds and boom, you get charged. However, the other option, this is the option that I have chosen in the past quite often and to good effect. That is called the through play option. Now, this is something that you have to go in and select yourself. It isn't by default. Through play is when someone watches 15 seconds of your ad. So they either watch 15 seconds or they watch the whole thing. If someone's watched 15 seconds of your ad, they're usually pretty interested in what you have to say. So then later on, what you can do is you can go and remarket and retarget those who've watched these through play video ads. And that's how they accumulate how much money that you owe them. All right, so the next thing about Facebook is the targeting options. Facebook has some really fantastic targeting options when it comes to the interest that people have. But the targeting options can be really, really granular inside Facebook. Facebook knows that I like fishing and I like diving and I like Lord of the Rings, and I like NFL. They know these things. So what do I see a lot on Facebook? I see a lot of these, fishing and diving ads, and I get a lot of, posts from Lord of the Rings pages and whatnot. So Facebook has a really, really good idea of what people are into and what their interests are. Now, the next thing about Facebook is its user interface. When you're running YouTube ads, the user interface is a lot more, it's a bit harder. Right? It's a bit harder to learn than when you're using Facebook's. I had to do a lot of, Google searches and YouTube searches on, how do I set these columns up? How do I, how do I find these particular metrics? Whereas Facebook, they basically give you the essentials and the basics that you need to know. Facebook's user interface is a lot easier to manage and to set up than Google YouTube's. Now, the last major thing I would say about Facebook is it's very largely image intensive. Okay, you have to have a really snappy image, really snappy text, because you need to stop that scroll. And this can be a difficult thing to do. What else can happen is it can lead to a lot of ad fatigue very, very quickly. Regularly, I would have to change out my ads every few days because I noticed that my ads they're doing really well for a number of days, and then all of a sudden it just drops off. It just drops off. So I have to go in and refresh my ads. I have to go in and refresh my images, change around a few things, maybe set up some dynamic creative ads, which is another video. But that was another really frustrating thing with Facebook was it's very, very image intensive, and you have to snap people out of that scroll zone. All right, so let's talk about YouTube advertising. Now, I love YouTube advertising. Okay, I really love YouTube advertising. I probably spend maybe 70% of my advertising budget on YouTube advertising. Now, the reason why I love YouTube advertising is because of why people are there. People are on YouTube for two reasons. The first one is to be entertained. The next one, why they're there, is they're trying to find a solution to a problem, okay, an answer to a question. See, what a lot of people don't understand is that not only is YouTube the biggest social platform in the world, it is also the second largest search platform in the world. How many times have you gone to YouTube and said, oh, how do I fix this? Or how do I find the spark plugs in my 2015 Toyota Camry? How do I do this? How do I do that? Remember how I said how Facebook is interruptive-based marketing? Well, YouTube is like a hybrid. It's not only interruptive-based, it's also intent-based marketing. So what's awesome is that you can take your ad, all right, your video ad, or even your banner ads, right, and you can place them on specific channels. You can place them on specific videos. So your video only shows to people who are looking at this particular topic. So you can really, really, really narrow down on exactly who you want to target with YouTube ads by putting your ads on specific videos and channels. And because YouTube advertising is intent-based marketing, you don't have to convince people that they need to buy your product or they need to buy your service. That idea is already there. They're already looking for that solution. They're already there looking for an answer. So how do you get charged on YouTube? This is the question that I get asked a lot. The first one is like Facebook, cost per 1,000 impressions. But I don't use that very often because what I love about Facebook is that you only get charged when someone watches a certain amount of time on your ad. The standard is you don't get charged unless someone watches at least 30 seconds of your ad, watches the whole ad, or clicks on your ad. That's when you get charged. So just say you have a 2-minute video ad. Someone watches 27 seconds of it, or 25 seconds of it. You don't get charged. And another great thing about YouTube advertising is that you have at least 5 seconds before they can hit that skip button. Or depending on what type of campaign you're running, they may have to watch your ad for a whole 6 seconds, or they may have to watch your ad for a whole 15 seconds. The type of ads that we use are the skippable ones. Okay, they're the best ones to go with for most people. You can really get your message across to someone before they hit that skip button, right? And you're able to catch their attention, to draw in their interest before they skip away. Whereas like on Facebook, they just keep scrolling. They can just keep scrolling. And they may not even see your video. You may have a great product, a great message, a great service, but they may not even see it, even though they may want it or need it, because they're just scrolling through. Whereas on YouTube, they have to stop. They have to watch at least 5 seconds of your ad. Now, with YouTube, as much as I love YouTube, there are a couple downsides to advertising on YouTube. Google owns the YouTube platform. Okay, Google owns the YouTube platform. So when you advertise on YouTube, you have to use the Google Ads platform. Now, the Google Ads UI can be very difficult to navigate. It can be very difficult to set up, very difficult to use. This is a bit of a learning experience, a big learning experience for a lot of new advertisers. And what I'll do is I will create a video on how to set up your Google Ads platform so you can quickly jump in and see what your ads are doing. And I'll put that in the video. So the link to that video will be up here. So lastly, you actually have to create a YouTube ad. Now, you may not have to be inside this YouTube ad. You can create an ad using B-roll with your voice, or you can have an actor do it, right? Or you can do it yourself, but you have to actually create content, create an ad, and put it out on YouTube. And this can be a really hard thing for some people to do. But this is why YouTube is such a blue ocean. And by that, what I mean is only 8% of businesses around the world are actually advertising on YouTube. There's a really good chance that your competitors are not using YouTube advertising. So it's a really blue ocean, whereas Facebook, there's only so much space on that dashboard. There's only so much space on the Facebook newsfeed. Now, I know Facebook is coming out with some other video ads as well that you can stick on videos that are on the newsfeed, but it's not really the same. If you can get past having to make YouTube ads, YouTube is a fantastic opportunity really for any business to utilize. Now, there's just one more thing that I want to talk about YouTube, and that is the targeting that you can do. So on YouTube, you can put your ads on anyone's channel. You can put your ads on anyone's videos. So if you have a coaching service or a particular product, if you can find a video that's getting lots of traffic, right, you can put your ad on it. So for example, just say you're selling baby products. You can put your ads on channels or on videos that, like the lullabies, you can play a lullaby video on YouTube, right? Your ad could show up because parents are going to be looking at those videos. Parents will be. It's really, really amazing the type of results that you can get when you do this type of targeting through YouTube. So now you must be wondering, okay, well, which platform should I use? Now, that all depends on what you want to advertise. As I said earlier in the video, Facebook is interruptive-based advertising. Facebook is best used for coaches and mentors, e-commerce products, those sort of things. Those types of niches and areas will have the best experience using Facebook advertising, purely based on the fact that because it's interruptive-based marketing. If you're a local service business, you can use Facebook advertising for sure, 100%. But to target specific types of people who will want your local service will be a lot more difficult than if you're using YouTube. So Facebook is best used if you're doing e-commerce or some kind of like coaching program or mentoring program of some sort. Now, YouTube is best for anyone. YouTube's good for anyone, for any type of service-based industry, of e-commerce, of coaching, purely based on the fact that with YouTube, it's like television. It's interruptive-based, but it's also intent-based because people are going there and searching for things. Now, it's also good because it's interruptive-based. It's also good for coaching programs, mentor programs. It's good for e-commerce, right? You can do like demonstration videos of maybe how a lure is working, or how particular jewelry looks, or of canvas painting, or whatever it may be. And so YouTube can be used by literally any industry around. Now, here's a hard question. Which platform should you use? And the answer is really simple. You want to use both. The reason why you want to use both is because it'll put your business, it'll make you more omnipresent. People will see you more around the place. Now, if I can give you some advice and tell you how I do things, how we do things at Titan Marketer, we spend most of our money on YouTube advertising, right? Just because we can get our message across a lot easier through video than we can through image-based text or even a video view campaign on Facebook. Now, we do retargeting, we do remarketing to people on Facebook and on YouTube. So we're using both platforms. So don't just use YouTube and neglect Facebook, and don't just use Facebook and neglect YouTube. You want to be utilizing both. So people see your brand, they see your products, they see, your business wherever they go, on YouTube, on Facebook. All right. So that was an overview of which platforms should you be using in 2022. Okay. YouTube or Facebook. In a nutshell, you want to be using both. Okay. I mean, if you want to spend 90% of your budget on one and 10% on the other, that's perfectly fine. Whatever you choose. However, we recommend doing both. All right, guys. I hope you found this video very informative. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. If you have any ideas of things that you want to learn more of, things you want to know more about regarding, Google or Facebook or YouTube advertising, drop them in the comment section below, and we will get to it as soon as we possibly can, because we enjoy giving back to our subscribers and to our audiences. All right, we'll see you in the next video.